Hey, what's going on, team? Today's workout is going to be a little different, a little dynamic. We are going to do a little bit of cardio and questions. So I'm going to do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. I'm going to ride for 30 seconds. I'm going to rest for 30 seconds. And during that 30-second rest, I'm going to answer some questions that I get asked all the time. All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. So 30 on, 30 off. During the 30 off, I'm gonna answer some questions. So stay tuned, watch the whole thing. Let's get ready. I can probably talk him, right? So first question is gonna be, Jay, what is the best workout? I probably get this question once a week. The best workout is the workout that you'll actually do. It's gotta be something that you like. It's gotta be something that's sustainable. It's gotta be something that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Tremendous workout.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't certain workouts that are going to be more dynamic or beneficial for your body, but there's no such thing as the perfect workout. If you like Pilates, then Pilates is perfect for you. If you don't like Pilates, then don't do Pilates just because somebody told you it's great for stretching and this and that. The thing that's going to get you the best results is the thing that you'll consistently do. So that's my answer to what is the perfect workout. Next question I get all the time is, Jay, what's the perfect diet?
And your diet?
You guys know that the D word actually just pisses me off. So there's no such thing as the perfect diet, and there's no such thing as the perfect meal plan, the perfect food, the perfect anything. You guys are getting marketed to by people like me, assholes on the internet, telling you that you've got to do this, or you've got to do that, or you got to follow this, or you got to follow that. And if you don't, you'll never have success. Complete horseshit. Now, can you eat pizza every day and sit on your ass? No, that's not going to work. I don't even give a shit if you eat kale every day and sit on your ass. You're still not going to be healthy. It's got to be a combination of food and fitness. And so what I mean by what's the perfect nutritional plan, it's got to be a sustainable lifestyle model for you, which is what I really teach. I don't believe in deprivation. I don't believe in starvation. And that's what most programs, most diets are predicated on. And that's why they only last 30 to 45 days, because it's not sustainable. People won't do deprivation and starvation long term. I'll even tell you this, you won't do ketogenic, whatever, keto, guido long term. It's not sustainable. You won't do low carb long term. You won't do paleo long term. You won't do Mediterranean long term. You will find a way to screw it up. Not because you want to, it's how the human brain works. If you feel like you are stuck in a prison cell of food, of what you can and can't eat, you will do everything in your power to break out of that prison cell. So what we have to do is we have to create a sustainable model that you can follow forever. Now, I'm not a big believer in dairy. I don't like gluten. I'm in a fight with wheat. What else pisses me off? I don't like extra sugar. I don't like artificials. And so I suggest you avoid all those. But that suggestion also comes with the caveat of, if you love pizza, you're gonna eat pizza. If you love ice cream, you're gonna eat ice cream. So it's my responsibility as your coach to help you figure out how to add that back into your lifestyle. Now, can you eat it every day? No. Nobody's saying that. You can't eat donuts every day. You can't eat shit every day. But can you eat some shit and still be healthy? The answer is yes. I eat donuts. I eat cake. I eat pizza. I don't eat ice cream because it hurts my belly. But I like ice cream, but I just don't eat it. But none of those things are off my radar. I can eat them I can eat whatever I want to eat, because 90% of the time, I'm willing to be dialed in and buttoned up. If you'll do that same thing and create a lifestyle for yourself, You can drink booze, you can eat pizza, you can eat chips, you can eat donuts, you can eat dairy, you can eat whatever you want. But you gotta be willing to make some modifications and moderational decisions throughout that process. As you can tell, I could go on for days. Let's move on to the next question. All right, guys, the next question I get all the time is, Jay, what does your recovery routine look like? I actually did a whole video on that we'll link to. So you can link in the bottom, we'll put it on the screen here. Same channel, you'll just go find it. But my recovery starts before my workout ever even begins. I got a whole process that I go to, like a prehab process. And then after my workout, I also do a full recovery set. But recovery is also a lot internal. So nutritionally, how am I recovering is predicated on how am I eating, how am I treating myself. Am I jacking my branched chain amino acids? Do I have my electrolytes? I tell you guys this all the time. You don't listen. I don't know why. This is the greatest product on the planet. Elite branched chain amino acids plus. It is your full spectrum of branched chain amino acids, your full spectrum of electrolytes. It also has glutamine. It also has L-citrulline in it. This is the most complex recovery product on the market. I start drinking it before I work out, consume it while I'm working out, and then finish it afterwards. And then I have another one later on in the day just to make sure that my branched chain amino acids, my glutamine, all my electrolytes are really thriving, especially if you're training, guys. If you're working out, you gotta have this. This is also great for your hydration levels. A hydrated body is a happy body. You can't burn calories, you can't burn fat, you can't lose weight, you can't get big, you can't get no, don't do it. No, don't do it. Listen, over here. You can't get big, you can't get buff without being hydrated. So don't take your hydration for granted. All right, I gotta get back to work. All right, guys, shifting gears a little bit. Had a little hamstring crampage after about the third set, so we had to bail out of that. Not a problem. What are you gonna do? When in doubt, you go arms, right? You get big, right? Even though it's not tank top season anymore. Here's one of my problems. Yeah, so I love a good hammer curl. Gee, why do you like hammer curls better than you like a regular, palm facing up supinated curl? The hammer curl actually works on the brachialis muscle as well. It's that if you've seen somebody has a really good bicep peak, like that little baseball in their bicep, that means they have a really good brachialis muscle. So it really works on the peak. So it's kind of my favorite of all the bicep movements. I mean, I do them both, obviously, but the hammer curl is my go-to guy. Here's something I'm irritated about. Not really a question. Why do you lose your tan so fast? I was golden brown. I'm talking Tahitian brown about 4 days ago. I woke up today and I thought Casper the Friendly Ghost was in my bathroom. Tan's going away. October's kicked in. It's still 100 degrees and you're like, well, go in your pool, bro. And I'm like, the pool gets below 90, I shut down. I can't get in that water. I'm a hot water dude. So can't go in the pool anymore. I don't know. I mean, are we self-tanning? Maybe. Were we doing tanning booths? No. Used to. Not anymore. Can't do. How many did you gonna do? I don't know. I'm starting to shut down. Guns are starting to shut down a little bit. Do this for you guys though. So don't think I don't care. All right, guys. One of my favorite tricep exercises. If you have access to a TRX, I call it like a TRX skull crusher. Really, all you're gonna do is hands out in front, and then you're gonna take your nose to your fingers, to your thumbs. I'm actually probably gonna end up diving a little deeper once I get warmed up. But to start with, I'm gonna kind of bring that forehead in, keeping the elbows nice and tight. Simulates a good tricep skull crusher like you were laying on a bench. Gets the triceps really pumped up. Another question I get a ton, guys, is how often do you train a specific body part? And the answer to that is it's variable. I believe in like full body training, so I do a lot of like kettlebell work. I consider this to be like successory work, or you might call it accessory work. But to have a successful physique, you got to do the little things. I consider arms to be like successories or accessories because, they're not just for show, but you get plenty of arm work in a kettlebell swing, in a press, in all of your movements like that. So really when you're doing arms, you're just doing them for that finishing, that peak type action on those guys. just because it's something that you're getting plenty of work on, unless you're a bodybuilder, and then you definitely got to be dialing it in a little more. But for the average Joe like me, I'm getting plenty of bicep, tricep work whenever I'm doing just my regular basic workout. So how often should you train a body part? I think that's so variable. Like, again, you can overdo it as well. A little bit of a shoulder issue right now because I'm overtraining shoulders. So I just got to be mindful of that and try to minimize my shoulder load during my weekly workouts until it gets back to normal. But with that said, I'll do things like ball slams and cardiovascular metabolic things several times a week because it's a full body explosive movement. But if it's full body, I'm not really over isolating one small area like I am if I was doing like an isolated shoulder raise or even a shoulder press that's really getting the focus on the bicep tendon. So that's my answer to that question. All right, guys, another question that I get all the time is, Jay, how many calories should I be eating? The answer to that question is, if you're overweight, less than you're eating now, right? If you're underweight, more than you're eating now. Now, I know that's not the answer that you were looking for, but here's the deal. Most people overconsume everything, right? Not just food, not just booze, not just TV, not just nonsense, not just drama. We overconsume everything. It's part of who we are as humans. So what you've got to get better at is you've got to get more mindful and intentional with your eating. And then once you develop that, then how many calories you're getting is going to be a bigger and better deal. Because until you get mindful and intentional about it, I can tell you how many calories to eat all day, and you're still going to eat like a savage. And most people under-evaluate how many calories they're actually consuming. So if I ask somebody, how many calories are you eating? They're like, oh, probably 1,500. They're probably closer to 2,000. Just is what it is. We underestimate the quantity of food. And that's one of the things I try to do is I try to get you to learn what food actually looks like. What does food on a plate look like? What does 30 grams of protein look like? What does 30 grams of carbohydrates look like? Once you can establish that, then, because here's the bottom line, you're not going to count macros. You're not going to count grams. You're not going to weigh things. You're not going to get your abacus out and measure things every time you eat for the rest of your life. You're just not going to do it. So the smart thing to do, the mindful thing to do, the intelligent, intentional thing to do is learn what food looks like. Learn what food feels like. When I eat this meal, I feel like this. If I eat this meal and I feel like shit, that's your body being like, hey bro, don't love it. But what do we do as humans? We keep eating it. We keep consuming it. Makes no sense. So until you get mindful and intentional, until you start listening to your body, it doesn't make a shit how many calories you think you're going to eat. You're going to keep eating like a savage. We treat ourselves like garbage cans, guys. We are undernourished and overfed. That's the American way. And unfortunately, we're Americanizing every other country, that we're bringing our fast food and our nonsense to their lifestyles, and now they're overfed and undernourished. So we got to stop killing ourselves with silliness, mindful, intentional eating, and then your caloric intake then it'll matter. Then you can change it. But the bottom line is this: if you want to lose weight and you're not losing weight, you're probably eating too many calories. If we go by the old adage of calories in versus calories out, meaning you need to burn more calories than you consume, and most of us aren't doing that. Most of us are over-consuming. I'll do another set for you. Getting all silly. Most of us are overeating, over-consuming everything, right? Starts up top in the brain. The brain and the belly are connected. So 9 chances out of 10, guys, you're probably eating too many calories, and you're probably eating too many calories of the wrong kind of foods. And that's why you're stuck like Joe. All right, guys, 2 things here. This is another one of my favorite tricep exercises. I like to get a kettlebell, do kettlebell extensions behind the head. A question I get all the time is this. So whenever one of my clients starts on like a new journey, they start this new lifestyle process and program with me, inevitably one of their friends, one of their family members, one of the people who's still eating, like I talked about in the last clip, like a savage, gets ultra concerned. They're like, Nancy, that's too much protein. That is way too much protein. Your liver cannot, all of a sudden they become a nutritional scientist. My question to Nancy's friend is, did Betty ever give a shit when you were shoving chicken McNuggets down your hole as fast as you could? Did she ever get pissed whenever you brought the double box of Krispy Kremes to the office, or did she overindulge like you were? The answer is she never gave a shit until you decided to get healthy. You're gonna have a real problem eating too much protein, guys. You're gonna have a real problem eating too healthy. The problem is Betty is worried because you're gonna get fit, Nancy's gonna get lean and mean. Stop hanging out with Betty because Betty's going to the bars every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night, consuming chicken wings and cold beer. There's nothing wrong with chicken wings and cold beer, but you gotta get your shit together so you can deserve to eat chicken wings and cold beer. So Betty's not even really concerned about Nancy. I'll do it. All right, Betty's not even concerned about Nancy. It's a little light for me, but I'm gonna crank some out. Betty's worried that how she's gonna feel about Nancy getting in shape. And so if you're Nancy and you got a bunch of Bettys running gums about what you're doing, ask them that question. Why were you not concerned? Why didn't you care about me enough that when I was shoving Krispy Kremes in my mouth as fast as I could, why did you never come to me and say, hey, I'm worried about your blood sugar. I'm worried about your weight. I'm worried about your heart. But now all of a sudden they're concerned. They're not concerned. So you shut that shit down. You don't let those people get into your brain and get you to start thinking you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. Because let's be honest. Why wouldn't they just be on your squad? Why wouldn't they just be on your team? Why wouldn't they just want you to be so healthy that they're like, I'll do it with you, instead of being judgy about it? If you're one of those judgy jokers, man, you got to stop that shit in all areas of your life as well. I could go on about that for an hour, but I won't. All right, guys, a lot of questions answered today. One of the questions you're probably asking yourself right now is, Jay, why are you holding those 30-pound dumbbells? I'm about to curl them. But the real question you're asking is, all right, what do I do, bro? Like if you answered these questions and I was one of those people that fell into one of those categories and I need some help, what do I do? All you have to do, guys, is join the Wellness Lab Launchpad. It's 100% free. It's a free Facebook group. We're gonna link to it right here. We're gonna make it so simple on you. If you're listening and you don't wanna wait for the link, just go to thriveforeverfit.com. It's on the homepage. You roll down, you click join, we let you in. This is the place where we answer the questions. This is the place where you get taken care of. This is the place where you get support, where you get accountability, where you get love, where you get connection, where you get community, where you get all the things you need to get you to the places that you want to go. Nobody's going to sell you on anything. Nobody's going to tell you, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. We're going to give you real, honest, truthful advice because we care, and this is why we do what we do. So join the Wellness Lab, become part of the family, get the answers, the direction you need and deserve. Stop listening to the BS. Stop allowing the marketers and the influencers to negatively influence your life. Come on over to the team. We'll take care of you. Join the Wellness Lab Launchpad today. Thanks for shopping with us, guys.